Folks, ICE is not playing around. ICE has devised a strategy that has left illegal aliens across the country blindsided, and it's happening right before our eyes. And the left is losing their composure because for the first time in years, there's nowhere left to hide. ICE has come up with a brilliant plan. They've partnered with TSA and have led record breaking apprehensions at the airports.
Earlier this week, Fatima Amika, a public health researcher with Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health, was arrested by ICE and detained, taken to Louisiana and placed in a ICE processing center. Amika, originally from Cameroon, was also a Fulbright scholar and entered the United States in 2023, although her visa expired in 2024, according to DHS.
My first feeling was sad. I was shocked because I really didn't think that could happen in Maryland. I thought we had enough systems in place and enough informed people that such a thing wouldn't happen. To have your colleague going somewhere, maybe to do their work, and to be abducted, it just feels totally inappropriate. Not America.
Well, I think the way that ICE is operating now makes me angry, makes me concerned about what's happening to our country. And if people don't wake up, then I think we fall further and further into losing our democracy.
If Fatima is so brilliant, I'm not saying she's not, but if she's so brilliant and capable and competent, get your damn visa renewed. Okay. Yeah. I mean, what is this? If you know you're here, and not only that, when these immigrants come here on visas and they work for Johns Hopkins and other corporations, typically they will have people in their human resources that's kind of stay on top of that, because if they are so critical to the mission, they make sure that their papers are in order. Typically that's what happens, so that because they know they can get busy with the research and whatever, so they help them on the administrative side so that these lapses don't occur. Well, hers was overstayed by years. Okay, so I don't know what happened to all the human resources personnel at Johns Hopkins. Okay, I don't know. That's number one. Number two, that man that was speaking, you can go too. Just make sure your stuff is in order. Okay, just make sure your cards and visas are in order, because you can go too at the airport, at the front door, at Johns Hopkins University, on the front steps. I don't care. So now,
what's up, everybody? This is Poppin' Politics. Get your merch. Are you a Poppin' Politics fan? Are you unapologetically American? Or not black, not white American? We got it all for you right here. Get your merch. You can get it all in t-shirts and hoodies. You can get it in stickers, on bags. You can get it all on our website, metroconservativemedia.com, or our YouTube page, Pop and Politics, and tag over to store. You can get your merch and show you're proud to be an American and support Pop and Politics.
When I looked into this, I think last week, the last thing I understood is that she was still being held because she had some kind of pending appeal. So I think she's still in country. I don't know if she's back in Maryland yet. So right, okay, she's still in Louisiana. Okay, fine. Well, again, get your papers in order. You know, you're at the top of the heap, if you will. You have the resources. You have people that are at Johns Hopkins and other places that will help you do this. Okay. Get it done.
All right. Nicole, what are your thoughts? You heard those bystanders. They feel like this is the wrong thing to do. This is a democracy, the lady said. What are your thoughts, Nicole?
The typical Marylanders.
Right.
Typical Marylanders. They're not surprised that this so-called scholar couldn't negotiate her immigration status. That wasn't the shock and awe. They weren't surprised that someone at Hopkins did not intervene on her behalf, right? That's not the surprise. The surprise was like, well, wait a minute. When did they start enforcing the law in Maryland? I thought we had enough systems in place that the law didn't affect us. Honey, Maryland is in the United States, and the shiny governor will not protect you from the federal law. Will not. And there's a reason. And John Hopkins has plenty of J visa people doing research and studying at Hopkins, plenty of. There's a reason why she didn't make the cut. They can say that she's, the best thing since sliced bread now because they'd like her to be out. But listen, hear me clearly and know that I love people from Cameroon. I meet them all the time as they're regular people, hardworking people, industrious people who come to my office seeking, guess what? Green card. These are regular people who saved up their money, who've gone to all of their appointments, who've danced for the devil in the moonlight, did everything they got to do. But this researcher couldn't muster up the same thing. There's something not right here. There's a fly in the buttermilk. But with that said, Cameroon is a beautiful country, and the same research she's doing here at Hopkins, she can take with her as they fly her ass back to where she came from. Let's do that. I don't want a researcher that's not smart enough to fill in the damn form, because that's really all it takes.
No, Nicole, all she got to do is sign it, because Johns Hopkins will fill it out for her, and she just signs it electronically.
Something is not right there. I can tell you, as you know, my practice has had J1 people before, and when I tell you they watch their immigration status, like they watch the clock, because they know everywhere they are. They know where they live, where they work, where they eat. They report all of the time. But they really thought, Hopkins thought, this woman thought, because they're in deep blue Maryland, nobody would do anything. But can I tell you, Tacoma Park, Maryland, ICE is there almost every damn day locking them up. It is not for play. They are dead serious, and it's not a quota. It's not some hateful goal. It is the way that they stop eroding my birthright as an American citizen. So yes, I'm extraordinarily passionate about it.
Folks, you know who we can blame for this? You know who these, like you saw the two Marylanders who are upset, you know, Amika, Fatima, who's upset, John Hopkins, for goodness sake, the whole institution, if they're upset. You know who they should blame? Chuck Schumer. Yes, Chuck Schumer. Remember those never-ending lines over the holiday, over the winter at the airport security checkpoints during the infamous Schumer shutdown when Democrats refused TSA funding? Well, how did that crisis resolve? It was the arrival of ICE agents. Remember that? They teamed up with the TSA to expedite those lines. And just like that, Schumer and the Democrats lost their leverage, leading to the shutdown's collapse. But from this brilliant maneuver emerged something extraordinary. What did they do? Airport security lines were shut down. TSA began routinely sharing traveler information and flight manifests, passenger records with ICE. Remember? We talked about it every day, every hour. ICE was cross-referencing those names against individuals with final removal orders, overstayed visas, and immigration violations, even without criminal record. And so now we have this at the airports. No more home, well, they still do probably the home raids, but of course, you know, this is like a major thing right now that they've been doing. These are illegals. If they book a flight, TSA checks it. Ching ching, bada bing. You out of here.
And you know, exactly. You know, it also speaks to, and particularly the Fatima type people who have the resources. She certainly has people at Johns Hopkins where she works that are able to help her. It also speaks to their arrogance and their disdain or their ingratitude about our country, that they really believe that they can just come and go, you know, as they wish, as they want to, when they want to, and they'll do whatever they want because they are, you know, they're important. She's a Johns Hopkins researcher or whatever her position is. So it's this mindset that, oh, I am above the American system, that, you know, that I'm here working under earning from. I don't care about what their laws are. I don't care about renewing my visa. I am so important, and I'm not even an American, not even born here, but I'm going to do what I want to do as I want, when I want, and they're going to have to just eat it. That's the kind of mindset that many of these people have too. So I can even go to the airport and fly. I can fly home and back without my visa, without it being renewed. That's how I can just come and go. That's how our borders and what's happening with this this prolific immigration has allowed to happen to our country. And this is part of the mindset.
I think it's important though to remember that Salazar, the representative from Southern Florida, who had the quote unquote the Dignity Act, which is basically amnesty for illegals living in the country. One of the points that she made that I found very interesting is she's like, you know, now you can go home and bury your mother, and not just for like family reunions, right? she was, saying the quiet part out loud. They fly home all the time. They have Maryland driver's licenses, right? And it looks like a Maryland driver's license. It's a real ID, but it says across the top, not for federal identification, right? So you can't use it to get back in the country, but you can use something else to get back into the country. People travel back and forth all of the time. And this was genius on their part to use the TSA to actually scope. There were actually a couple of cases, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, on cruise ships. They were trying to get on to the cruise ship because you still have immigration, you still have customs and border enforcement, all of that when you're getting on a cruise ship. And they were catching all kinds of people. They had 2 people with murder warrants. I mean, the criminal element loves a nice vacation too, but they were pulling people over to the side like, we need to talk to you over here, come over here, go into this private room. And I think this is probably one of the big gaps that we didn't really think of. We were thinking, let's catch them at home, let's catch them at work, let's catch them, taking their kids to school. But catching them traveling has been a very, very good thing. Very good thing.
Reports indicate ICE recorded its biggest arrest month in history last month, with roughly 51,000 immigrant arrests, an average of about 1,600 arrests per day. This broke the previous record set just 1 month earlier in June with 43,000 arrests, marking back-to-back record-breaking months, folks. They are not playing around, okay?